Hey guys, so I really thought I was going to have some good news today, and I do not because I was hired by a job, references were checked, background check, all of the steps in order to be employed in the United States, all done. And then I got to working. Only about 7 to 8 hours of work, and they ghosted me. Let's talk about it. And why is it in corporate America that Black employees are easily disposable? I have questions. I'm not saying that people of other races don't get treated in this way, but by and large, Black employees, Black women, Black men are treated like shit. Okay? The fact that they ghosted me is so dehumanizing. I can't even. I can't. Because this is not like I had a few rounds of interviews and you guys didn't get back to me. Understandable. Or you're a recruiter and we're just having some phone conversations and you don't get back to me. Understandable. You hired me. We had an onboarding session. If I wasn't the right fit, then tell me that. I want to know why. What do I need to work on? What did I do wrong? Where did we direct and misstep? I have no answers, right? And the fact is, I swear to Bob, if I was a white woman, I wouldn't have been treated this way. Point blank, period. So you're going to see my cat in the background. She's exploring. Anyway, so about 2-3 months ago, I am on ZipRecruiter, Indeed, LinkedIn, all the job boards, and I'm applying for jobs. I see a job for a copy editor, part-time, 10 hours a week, maximum, and it was $25 an hour. I was like, bet, I can do this, right? I applied for the job. I didn't hear anything for a few weeks. Then they get back to me. So basically, the company hires people for other companies, and the other companies that they hire these employees for are working mothers. So these are moms that work both inside the home with the kids and doing everything that is needed for the family. And then they work outside the home in a professional capacity, corporate America or whatever. So they need to outsource some employees to kind of take care of their workload in general. So I wasn't an employee of that working mother's company. I was an employee of the woman that hired me for that working mother's company. Get it? Okay. So, I spoke to the owner of the company that finds the employees for those other companies. We had a wonderful talk and she was like, you are overqualified for this position. And I'm not going to tell her. I'm like, I'm desperate, right? I'll do anything for any amount of dollars because I need it ASAP. So I finesse it in a way. I'm like, oh, I would love to learn and this and that and blah, blah, blah. But it's really, I need the money. And this is an easy job. Putting together a newsletter after 18 years in publishing as a copy editor, copywriter with a journalism degree, sign me up. Okay. So after speaking to the woman that owns the company, she speaks to the founder of that other company, and then we get to talking. I interview with that founder, and we hit it off right away. She was like a news reporter that used to live in San Francisco, moved to New York, and now has her own business, which I thought is so dope. It's like a news platform that is like not politically biased in either direction. I really love the dream, but I really admired the woman herself. Her company and what she did after she left corporate America was just so inspiring to me. After the initial conversation about pay, I did kind of rationalize in my head a little bit that I can learn from this woman because I'm starting a YouTube channel. I would love to start a podcast one day. And just the business practices in of itself. So I was just really excited. Plus the woman that I was speaking to, from what I could see, she was so dope. I thought she was very articulate and informative, and she had experience. And one thing I'm trying to do right now as well is network. So yeah, I'm her employee, but I really thought this would be a stepping stone into a direction where I want to go. And I just feel like I was slapped in the face, like honestly. So the day comes in the middle of the week where I start my job and I don't hear anything from anyone. So I'm just kind of like, what am I doing? Like, I need to be onboarded. There needs to be kind of some processes and stuff like that. And I don't get that. So I reach out to people and I'm just like, hey, can we get on a call? I just want to know what platforms you use for the newsletters. What's your process for the newsletters? You know, all of the questions that need to be answered so I can get started, because I can get started and create my own newsletter using a certain platform and doing this kind of work, but I want to be in line with the practices that you do as a company and see how I can optimize that and elevate that experience for the reader, right? So I was trained by another woman who lived in Orlando, Florida, and I it was difficult to speak to her in some ways. But you know how it is for us people, like I'm code switching left and right. I'm just trying to understand her process, even if she's having this sniffy attitude with me and she's saying like passive aggressive comments here and there. But she did seem like a sweet woman overall. So the woman in Florida, she does guide me through her process, and it's basically like they have a layout and a blueprint of what they want the newsletter to look like, but they just need some help to elevate it, like I said before. So she shows me the platform and the revenue that comes in and how to use the platform, how to add GIFs and how to add images and video and text and all of this stuff. And I'm like, I think I got the hang of it, but I still want to make sure I'm going in the direction of what is expected of me. So I want to talk again to the founder because I just want to make sure one more time, is this my newsletter and I'm making it something else? Or am I following protocol and following the woman in Florida and how she had operated in the past and just kind of like zhuzhing it up? I just want to make sure, because I don't want to step on anybody's anything, because it is a weekend newsletter. It was like a Wednesday and we don't have much time because it needs to be copy edited, read, proofread, all of the other stuff by other people on the team, which I didn't even know that was the process, because they were like, oh yeah, and then Caitlin, I'm just making this name up, is going to read it. And I was like, what does she do? She's our copy editor. She fact checks and she proofreads and she does everything. I wasn't even introduced to her, because if that was the case, then I should have been in contact with her. So when I was finished with the newsletter, she can read it. Anyway, that's neither here or there. I was just dealing with the founder and the woman who deals with the newsletter. She does a lot of other things. Like, these women, I want to say they carry the weight of this company on their back. Like they're doing a lot, jack of all trades, stepping in, where can I help? Because I did see that cohesiveness when I was on the calls with them. And again, I admired that. And I never thought about race at all, because why would I? But I go off on my own and I work on a newsletter. I'm looking for like unique stories to put in there that's like anything but politics. And I think I'm getting the hang of it, but I'm not sure. Again, it's like my second day, but I work on it and it takes me about like 6 hours of work. I submit it to the woman in Florida. She's like, I'm going to review it and have the founder review it. And then we will like let you know the feedback and stuff. So that was the first newsletter. And the founder just redid everything herself, because she was just like, I actually see a vision this way. So I could tell that she was going back and forth of what she was expecting from this person, and it wasn't the person's fault. It was that she's just kind of coming up with different ways of elevating this newsletter, and it is her company, so it's a baby. She's passionate about it, and she wants to make sure it's something that is beneficial for the reader. So I understood the first, that I copy edited the first one, and that was already written by the woman in Florida. It was just very copy heavy and all these other things. I gave that woman that same feedback plus other things that I had to say. And just like, I'm going to show this to the founder and we'll get back to you, whatever. So when I saw the newsletter and I got the feedback and then I spoke to the founder, she was saying like, this is your newsletter. It's just I was up late at night and I was just thinking and, yada, yada, yada. And this is what I came up with. So this is what I want, but it's up to you. So whatever you want to do, but I kind of like it like this. So it was just kind of like, I was not really sure what direction to go in. But I was like, now this is my first official newsletter I'm doing by myself. Like the other one was written by that woman in Florida, and I'm starting a new one. So I'm, again, searching and perusing for stories and things like that. So I was hired, trained, worked for about 8 hours, and I submitted the copy. And I was also supposed to submit copy for a social media post, but that wasn't even explained to me in a way that I understood. And when I asked questions, they were just not giving me the answers in the way that I needed them to be answered. So I was just like, let me just submit the newsletter and see what they say, and then we can go from there. Again, this is like my second day, okay? So this second day, or third day now, is a Friday. I had a doctor's appointment, and I didn't hear back from anybody, and it's like Friday at like noon. So I messaged them on Slack to say, hey, I just want to check in. I haven't heard anything. If you have any feedback, because I want to make sure the newsletter is deployed on time, which is Saturday morning. And, the times going, and, all of this other stuff. So they're like, I'll get back to you, right? Friday comes and goes. Saturday comes and goes. Sunday comes and goes. Monday morning, the company that was hired by the other company that hired me, so the founder of this agency, this placement agency, essentially, just emails me. I wish I had the email right now, but actually, let me look for it. Okay, so the email reads, and I'm not going to say the woman's name because, again, like, I admire her company. I just think that the way they let me go was just very fucked up, basically. So the email says, "Hi, Christine. Unfortunately, blank has decided that she wants to go in a different direction with her virtual assistant setup. So you will need to stop working immediately. This does happen, so don't take it personally. Let me know if you have any questions." That was it. And I said, "Hi, blank. Thank you for letting me know. Sincerely, Christine." As much as I wanted answers, I'm not going to ask for them. I just feel bad practice is what it is. Like, you can't teach someone to be kind. You can't teach someone to treat other people fairly. And as a Black woman, I'm always going into a corporate setting with the understanding that, as dope as I am, a lot of people don't see me that way. So continuously, we have to prove ourselves in a work setting. And even if I give feedback, I have this understanding that some people might take it personally. Like if I say it's copy heavy, or I say it's this or that, or I say like we could do this, and it's just kind of like she thinks she knows better than me. It's kind of like this internalized racism, and they see me as a threat. So that's the conclusion I'm coming to. I think that, one, it was a company that, as much as I admired and wanted to be a part of it, I don't belong. And then this whole thing is just a reminder that I'm not going to diminish my worth for anybody. And I shouldn't have to have gone through that. It's so dehumanizing and demoralizing. And for the last week and change, I have been so depressed and just going over in my head the last 3 days of working. And what did I do wrong? What did I say? Was the newsletter that bad? Where could I have improved? Where could I have done better? Because that would help me in my craft, and just moving forward, just how to be a better copy editor, a better copywriter, a better employee or client, because they're technically my client. I wasn't their employee, but you know what I'm saying? So for Black women, when we stand in our power or simply exist, it's a problem. It's an issue. And you're easily disposed of. I have something else in mind. I'm not even going to explain it to her. Use and dispose. Goodbye. So as depressed as I have been just about how this whole thing was communicated to me, I'm like, if I was a white woman, would I have been treated this way? And deep down, my answer is no, I wouldn't have. I would have give a modicum of respect, at least a little bit, instead of whatever that was. And that's what I stand on. Point blank, period. And ghosting from a corporate company that you work for, like a 1099 or a W-2, and they ghost you without an exit interview or an explanation is just bad practice. So I'm just seeing this also as a blessing in disguise, a lesson learned. I'm not going to diminish myself for anyone or anything. Yes, I do need to work. Yes, I need to make some income because I have none right now. And I'm struggling just to survive, let alone thrive. Okay. But what these companies are not going to do is strip me of my humanity and my dignity. Like, that's not going to happen. And that's why I'm making this video, because I find, at least personally, time and time again, I work for these companies and I'm in awe of these companies and the people that work there. Like, I want to get to that point. I want to get to that level. I want to be in that circle. I want to be, grant me 3 wishes, please. Okay. And behind closed doors, I am not seen that way. And I stand that if I was a white employee or a white person, the landing would have been soft and delicate and very demure. You know what I mean? For me, it was just kind of like, thanks, bye. Not even a thanks, just peace. Stop working immediately. First of all, it's Monday morning at like 6:30 a.m. I haven't started to do anything. And it was giving mean girl. Like, I don't know what I did to be treated this way. Anyway, and I did go back and forth a little bit about like making this video because, again, I'm going to be labeled as angry and bitter and all the negative connotations that come with being a Black woman when you have something to say. But I'm standing on my truth and I deserve better than that. Like, what the hell was that? It's so messed up. And yes, I'm moving on. I've grieved and I've come to the conclusion that I'm a badass. But at the same time, it still hurts. We deserve professionalism. We deserve transparency. And we're human too. Like, I would never think of treating someone this way. You know, these are difficult decisions. It's not going to be easy. And yeah, there was a middleman between myself and the company. So I wasn't even expecting the woman who I was working for to communicate this to me. But even the agency that placed me didn't even give me that courtesy. And again, I can only come to one conclusion as to why. But anyway, my whole point of this video is like, I'm not going to be silent anymore about being disrespected. And just no. I'm not going to move forward with any animosity, but I am going to proceed with caution when interviewing for these companies. And I think the one thing I need to come to terms with is that, especially with all this DEI conversation, which I don't think that was what happened to me in a way, is that, you know, I'm not going to be a token. I was on that team. I saw it and I still was like, they're still women. So I think I'm I'm okay for the most part. And that wasn't true. So I pray to God that this was really a lesson in my value and my worth and the voice that I have. I don't need to sit here in silence, and I don't need to bash other people either, because I have nothing bad to say about the company and these women except for the way they treated me. So of course, in hindsight, I'm going to like look back and think, did I miss anything? You know, was I only hired because I was Black? and they wanted some more diversity on the team, aka the token. I don't know. These are questions that are never going to be answered because I'm not going to ask them. But I will use this moment in my life again as a lesson. And I hope that if you're going through something similar, you're not alone, and our voices will be heard. All right. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.